Welcome y'all to another episode of the Presidential Executive Podcast. This is your boy JB, my homie, brethren, Rag over here. What's going on, my guy?
Man, what's good? We back in it.
We back in it, man.
Episode _0.
I know, right? Underscore.
Welcome to season 2.
Yeah, welcome to season 2, y'all. It's been a long time coming. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I didn't say, but a lot of this has been on me, you know what I'm saying, while we kind of been loafing off a little bit, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of this stuff with the tech stuff and with the audio stuff, you know, it's still a work in progress with me. So we put down below the email, ThePrezEx@gmail.com, for anybody that is proficient in producing. You know what I'm saying, we can make it worthwhile with both of us, you know,
anybody who's tech savvy,
tech savvy that can actually take this off my hands within that. I'll still edit and do stuff of that nature for the most part, but actually just sitting down, making sure all the vitals are ready. So making sure when we talk, we're not wasting
precious audio.
Yeah, precious audio content. You know what I'm saying? It's just out there. Just delete it. Well, I will delete it, but you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Rag, what it do, man? Talk to me.
So, now, I guess this is our part 2 video.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of swinging, topics a little bit. It's been a lot going on, that we haven't talked about, pop culture wise, but definitely, we're big sports guys. I see you rocking your good Cowboys gear. I know y'all are, 5-1?
5-1.
Yeah, so y'all doing y'all thing. My Niners are not, we playing the Colts right now. I've been checking the score. Like, we started off good, you know what I'm saying? It's still 12-7 as we speak. I know by the time this video comes out, that game will be, we'll have the results.
It'll be done.
But, so we represent our teams. I know NBA wise, my Bulls have started out, 3-0, looking good with the additions of DeMar DeRozan and not Zach LaVine, Lonzo. Yeah, so I was and I was pulling her like that was somebody I wanted, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that
That's
we're
a good look, man.
Y'all know what it is with me. It's not a game. Right. I stay repping my Bulls 40 and baseball, my Braves are World Series bound. We beat the Dodgers, and this is the first time in 20 something years, I think 25 years. The last time the Braves was in the World Series, well, I think they might have lost one after that, but the last time we won was like we had like David Justice, Fred McGriff, right before we got Dion.
I remember growing up, like the Atlanta Braves were like mainstays.
In the 90s,
World Series,
they were always National League pennant, like going for that.
Well, this is the time I actually watch baseball.
Right.
Like, I don't even watch it during the season, but World Series.
But
ALS,
kind of good
ECS,
after the All-Star break. We were looking good.
So I will, definitely watch that. And he already said that, but salute to my Cowboys, man. You know what I'm saying? He's he respects, you know what I'm saying?
No, you're a reasonable Cowboy fan.
You know what I'm saying? At least me on that tip. But, we doing
Shout
good.
Out to Big E. Shout out to my homeboy Stefan.
Yes, sir.
We were reasonable Cowboy fans.
Y'all
don't think when y'all start off, 2-6 that y'all gonna make it to the Super Bowl. Y'all are reasonable. So I respect that.
But I have a good feeling about this year. You know what I'm saying? I feel that, I think you said off camera, the last game we played against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Usually we lose those games and we blame it on the refs. We blame it on,
right.
We had 120 yards and penalties that the Patriots took advantage of. That's why they scored so many points and stuff like that. But we persevered through.
Yeah. I played
and we did our thing. So salute to Dak. You know what I'm saying? Glad he's back doing his thing. Cooper, Lamb, Zeke, our boy Tony Pollard from the M. You know what I'm saying? Doing his thing.
Represent. Salute the boy TP from the M.
Yes, sir.
Melrose's finest, Orange Mountain's finest.
Yes, sir.
And I'm calling it. I said this off camera, but I think the Super Bowl is going to be. And this is tough for me as a true blue. Well, not true blue, but a true crimson and gold.
Yeah.
Since I was 4 years old. And that was not an intentional rhyme, but I will take it because I do it all the time.
He's an MC.
Man. Since I was 4 years old repping the Niners, but this hurts my soul to say it, but it's going to be from the NFC, I believe. Calling it right now. Now, again, it may change. This is week 7.
Right, week 7.
But as of week 7, I think my early Super Bowl pick is Dallas from the NFC and Las Vegas from the AFC. And now, you know, we'll as the season progresses, we'll see what they do, because they were blowing out somebody tonight. So
yeah,
they look like they was up.
Philly actually was
they was up like they had scored 30 straight points. They was up like 30-3.
Yeah.
You know, so now if Philly pulls New England from a few years ago in the Super Bowl, like, I doubt it. But ever since they got rid of this, going into our topic.
Bam bam.
Quick topic.
Yeah.
What do you think about the situation with John Gruden? And if for those of you all who don't know, he resigned so he wouldn't get fired.
It's crazy.
But what happened, they found, and this is the trip thing, they were actually doing a study on the Washington football team, formerly the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
And somehow they were going through some old emails, and they found emails that he had sent, that he was corresponding with somebody who was in executive with the Washington football team.
Yeah.
Going all the way back to, I think, 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it was some old. It was still going on in 2018.
Yeah. Yeah. That, to me, that was interesting, just because clearly after the stuff that he said about DeMar Smith,
Mm-hmm.
you know, about his lips being as big as Michelin tires.
Michelin tire.
You know, that's not where the whole uproar came about. The uproar came about when he's talking about the women, the homosexuals.
That women shouldn't be referees.
Yeah. And
they shouldn't draft. In the word he used, I said, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I ain't studying y'all. He said, and I quote, that they should not be drafting fags into the league. Those were his words.
Right. And so when he started talking about that and the women and the quote unquote sexist comments, that's when they pretty much like, look, he got to go.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, initially, I knew he had to go just because of the culture that we live in.
Right. So it's okay for a nigga to have Michigan tire lips.
Yeah, it's okay for that.
But you can't say that I don't think that women should be involved in men's sports.
Right.
Or that, you know, homosexuals should not be.
And I want to hear your response to this. Just like, okay, we from Memphis, right?
Mm-hmm.
We
check all the time.
We check all the time.
And now, if you stay in what I want to say DC or somewhere around in Chicago, place like that, they say Jonesing.
Yeah, okay.
Snapping, I forget where snapping is from, but they say
sound like
snapping.
Detroit thing or something, maybe.
In West Coast, I know they say playing the dozens.
Okay.
But we say our word down here is we're checking.
Right. And so
but they're all the same. They all mean the same thing.
Right. So when he's from a white guy, okay, because, you know, the skin color, I guess, matters with that. You know, this dude with his big nose, big lips or whatever, And so, I mean, I get it. Like, is it true or is it not? And so I think we kind of get too PC under the, you know what I'm saying, under everything that he's actually saying. And I'm just like, okay, it was wrong. He got caught. So I get the backlash and all that stuff, but was it really that bad to where you can just be like, he's this, you know, straight, you know, terrible, you know, person? You know what I'm saying? I agree that I think he had to go. He had to go because too much got revealed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Is he the only one that the emails are going to be exposed?
Now,
you know
this might be controversial, but I believe that he should get the. We had to go back. I can't remember who we gave the award for, but this is the When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong award.
Yep.
I want to say, is that the Playoff P Pleasure P award?
Yes, it's Pleasure P. It's Pleasure P.
And then our Whatever Nigga award as well.
Yes. Okay.
And my Whatever Nigga award goes to the outrage of it only because of this.
Tell me, man. Let's get into it.
It's not like he got on TV, national TV, and made a tirade about this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, to your point, and I agree with you, yeah, he got caught. Really, essentially, it's because he got caught.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like, how far does it go? Because it's one thing to tell somebody you can't be oppressive. You can't enforce the way you think on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing to tell somebody how you have to think.
Right.
You can think however you want to think. You just can't do whatever you want to do.
Right.
Now imagine, like, we grew up with some strong men in the house. It was certain stuff that we were not allowed to do in Prentice Brown and Roche Ragland's houses.
Facts.
Respectively.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could not disrespect Mary Brown, unacceptable, not finna happen. We may not be having this conversation. I wish I would disrespect Teresa. It ain't even got to be in his presence. He could be out of town. If he finds out about it, this is days past. He come back,
right?
But I'm gonna have to see him.
It's over with.
Okay.
Yeah.
But imagine if we had grew up in an environment where how many times you get told to clean up in your room in your mind, you was like, man, F y'all, man, whatever, nigga. Can't stand y'all.
Yeah.
This some BS. Ain't nobody even coming over here.
Right.
It's my room. What you work? Imagine if you would have got in trouble for thinking.
Right.
I tell my daughter this all the time. I don't care what you think in your mind. That's your mind. You should be undefeated in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to cuss whoever you want out in your mind, to hate whoever you want in your mind, to kill whoever you want. Whatever vile, ridiculous, criminal things that you think in your mind, controversial, you should be allowed to do in your mind. Mm-hmm. But that's where it should stay and that's where it should stop. Yeah. When you get to a point where it comes out and you start trying to enforce or enact that, then we got a problem. But like, imagine, think about how many divorces it would be if somebody's wife was like, oh, you thought about having sex. You didn't touch her. You didn't say, like, you didn't do nothing to her, but you thought about it. Mm-hmm. We getting a divorce.
Yep.
Your kids, oh, you thought in your mind to tell me shit. Oh, you getting put on, I'm taking your games. You getting your butt beat.
Yeah.
Your boss tell you something on your job. You know you're an executive. But how many times, you don't have to answer, but just think about it. How many times you said, man, whatever, nigga, in your mind to somebody in supervision, oh, you thought it, you're getting fired. Mm-hmm. Like, is that really? If we don't think about it from that perspective, it's like, oh my God, somebody thinks this way.
Right.
It's right to think that way.
Right. And it came from an email. Like, ahead. For me personally, like putting certain stuff in, as I think we talked about before, like text messages, stuff like that. But like I said, those are your private, those are your personal, private conversations in there. So it's like, was he wrong? He was wrong because he got exposed. He was wrong because he's a white guy. He's wrong because he has had, certain undertones of that, but, from some of his former players. One, Keyshawn Johnson. Right. You know what I'm saying? Has always had reservations.
Keyshawn ain't nobody's son.
Right.
JG.
You know what I'm saying?
When it comes to Chucky.
Right. He's never been a fan of him. So when all this stuff came out, it was like, I get it. But then I think everything's intertwining now. Sports, politics, the liberal agenda, all this stuff is really, everything coming together. And I think John Gruden is a result, became a byproduct of all this stuff. And so to me, he was messed up because he got caught. I'm like, bro, like, but once he started talking about the women, the, quote unquote, what he said, the fags, the gays and stuff like that, was no way he was going to get. Now, if talking about us now, having big lips, he would have skated past that. He would have had a couple, about a week of scrutiny, people talking about him.
I mean, to quote the GOAT, Dave Chappelle said it, it's okay for you to kill a nigga. You can't hurt somebody's gay's feeling. Right. And again, we don't have anything against homosexuals, but that's just the reality of what it is.
Yeah.
Like anybody that's not black, that's a homosexual, I bet you would not trade places with a black person.
No.
At all.
No.
Now, black people, they deal with it doubly because you catch it because of your sexuality as well as you black. You can't hide that. Even if you could hide your sexuality and nobody knows your preferences or what you do behind closed doors, you can't hide it. This is undefeated.
No, we can't hide this.
But I bet you put money on it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the lady who does the experiments. She was a teacher, but she used to do the things where she would have people in the audience and she would ask the white people in the audience, okay, how many of you all would trade places with the black people in here? Stand up. Nobody stood up. She's like, I don't think y'all heard me correctly. How many of you all in here would trade places with somebody black? Nobody stood up. And she said, the fact that you would not stand up lets you know that it's a problem that exists and you're not willing to do anything about it. And that's just reality.
Right.
And as the great Chappelle said, the people who are not like us that are in that community, they want to be that until it's convenient to be who they are again. You know, like, oh, you all for everybody pride till you see me walking around your neighborhood. Now you calling the police, you can use that card again because
it's
convenient to be that again.
Yeah.
You know, you put your pride flag away then, and then it's convenient to be, I see this strange person walking around my neighborhood I don't know.
And it's another thing, like, I want to get into this maybe in season 2 as well. I think we talked about this in season 1, talking about this whole CRT thing, this critical race theory thing. You know, obviously not gonna get into it now, but you know, just that whole spin about it. And I may come at it from a different perspective that you may not. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely. We surprised that J-Mac on that one. We definitely got to have
That'll be
the OG on here.
That'll be
definitely got to have the legendary hit the like on here.
Hit the like button, Sanders.
Yeah,
definitely. But with Gruden though, man, I think he just honestly, I liked him as a commentator on Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was an okay coach. I thought he grabbed the ring from Dungy. Pretty much.
Yeah, that was Dungy's team. I mean, not take anything away from him. Okay. Their offense was more explosive
with Gruden. Okay. Yep.
Tony has always, and if you remember those indie teams, he let Caldwell handle the offense.
True.
And that's what got Peyton to where he was at.
Yeah.
But he was the defensive guy. And if you remember when he played in the NFL, he played for the legendary Steelers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was on those teams with Mean Joe Green and Jack Ham and those guys. These are Hall of Fame legendary guys that he played with. And he was I believe he was a cornerback.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Defensive end, something like that.
Yeah, he was.
And so, you know, you got, and you look at his coaching tree.
Yeah.
Got a good coaching tree.
He was on a Knoll, wasn't he? For a minute? The Steelers coach. What was y'all famous? The Steelers coach back in the day. He was under him, I think, for a minute.
Yeah. He was under the legend because they've only had 3 coaches.
He was under
Cowher and Tomlin. Yeah. But Tomlin is a part of his coaching tree. Caldwell is a part of his coaching tree. Lovie Smith is a part of his coaching tree. But you look at a lot of his coaches. Caldwell's like the only offensive guy. Lovie Smith, defensive guy. Like when the Bears played the Colts in the Super Bowl, he had an amazing defense. The Bears. You know what I'm saying? Tomlin, great defense on those Steelers teams. He coaches defensive guys. So you get Gruden. It was more explosive with the offense. It opened up. And they really didn't have, who was their quarterback? Brad Johnson?
Yeah.
It's like, and they had Dilfer before that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, I'll give you that. I think Gruden did something more offensively.
Right.
They gave them that different dynamic, not just.
And so that's what I'm saying. I don't want to totally take it away from him. Because if you remember when he was with the Raiders, best offense in the NFL.
Right.
So I'll give him his props for that.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough with that. So, but I think he kind of got caught up, and also I want to point out that he got a chance to resign. I thought that was kind of convenient. You know what I'm saying? Just because. If it was kind of anybody else or somebody that was...
When the news came out and when it happened, he went ahead and did it. So he beat him to the punch.
Okay.
Because that probably was coming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was coming.
Whether they wanted to or not.
It was coming.
But it's like, oh, no, you don't get to fire me because I quit. That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've seen that in TV shows and movies and everything. Oh, you're not firing me because I quit. And it's like...
He had a pretty statement with that. Yeah. I remember the pretty statement with that. But I think he got caught up in that whole agenda, man, to where, like I said, bro, like, I'm sure many black folks done check Demarius Smith about his lips and, you know what I'm saying, getting stuff like that. But it's different when it comes, you know what I'm saying, from another white guy and all that stuff. So it's like.
I don't trip about that because I said this in season 1. Like, I grew up, you know, watching the reruns. Wasn't around when the show was on. Mm-hmm. But we used to watch reruns of The Golden Girls, Mama's Family, MASH. You know what else we used to watch? All in the Family.
Yeah.
And the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
Go back and watch some of those episodes. Like George Jefferson on prime time. I believe NBC said nigga on prime time at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh, that nigga ain't.
Yeah.
Prime time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Archie Bunker was homophobic, transphobic, blackphobic, like,
right.
But he was a real everybody, whether you black, white, Hispanic, any type of Asian, any type of like, you got somebody in your family.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Chinese or Japanese, you got an old grandfather that don't like Jewish people or don't like black people. If you're Jewish, you got an old person in your family that don't hang with those black. If you're Italian, they tell you don't hang with those mullions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we got that uncle that if you got that cousin, sit your gay ass down. Like, and nobody, but let somebody talk about your gay cousin.
Right. It's over with. Because we can do that. You know what I'm saying? We can do that.
I could screenshot it right now, and I'm not trying to make light of it, but my cousin who does the podcast, his big brother is homosexual.
Okay.
Like legit, like this is not speculative.
Right.
And he put a post and I commented on it. Care what he do in his personal life. That's my cousin.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
If I disagree with him, we can talk about it, whatever. He gonna be where he is, I'm gonna be where I am, but that's still my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I dare you to put your hands on him.
Mm-hmm.
I dare you to run up on him the wrong way. You can come for him because I'm coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way. It's cool.
Right.
And I tell you, don't get mad. Don't worry. I got your back because I'm coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I agree with what you do on your personal time, and I had said that on my cousin's back, what do you do on his personal time between him and God? That's still my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin said it on his podcast. He's like, look, man, my brother do what he do. He's like, but he more masculine than a lot of y'all that say y'all heterosexual.
Right.
He's like, man, most of the stuff I learned as a man, my example was him.
Mm. Yeah. He older? He older?
Yeah, he's not older than me. He's older than
him. The cousin. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
My cousin Mike that does the podcast. Shout out. The Rags Rants.
Yeah.
But he was just saying, like that's not a measure of how he is as a man just because that's his lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so but we all know that, you know what I'm saying? In hindsight, and we didn't see each other all the time, but I remember in hindsight, we'd be kids playing oh, okay, dang. That made, so you ask man, why you do, why you running? Why you do that? Why, you know what I'm saying? We didn't think nothing of it. Then in hindsight, oh, okay, dang.
Mm-hmm.
We made fun, but that built character.
Right.
Because you come for him, he coming right back for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's why your head is bit oh, dang, man, don't be, you know what I'm saying? It builds your character up.
Mm-hmm.
And so to act oh my God, this outrage, you said this, and you done heard worse at a family reunion.
Right. Oh, it shows your truth. I'm like, dog, like I said, if he would have just called him a nigga outright or something in the email or said something like that, or saying that, we should have never put you niggas in the league or something like that. Like I said, it's levels to this. You know what I'm saying?
And if you have a history of holding people down or back, then okay, the speech lines up with the actions.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, I know we watch these mob movies, The Godfather and Goodfellas and Casino and stuff like that, and all these TV shows, and they'll say, you can't be dating no mullion, and the mullions don't want you to be dating, no guineas either.
Yeah.
And that's words they use.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's, so again, at the end of the day, but they still can come together and break bread, and they be like, man, you better not touch my guy. Even though he just told the kid, don't be dating no mullion, but no, he ain't finna let nobody disrespect his homeboy.
Yeah.
On the flip side, that Italian dude come in the hood or somewhere where we at, just like he said, nah, man, don't be dating no Guinea or whatever, but let somebody break bad or get wrong. Man, hold up, what you doing? No, that's my guy.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so again, we try to act like this stuff don't exist. We want it to sound good, but we try to act like, when we're at a family reunion.
Oh yeah, way worse. Way worse. So do you think that, they overreacted by firing him, or you think they kind of did?
Overreaction.
Okay. Bet.
But like I said, now don't get me wrong. I do agree with you that, and I'm sorry. I'm invested in this game.
What's the score?
Man, it's still 12-7, man. We got the ball though. It's the second quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Okay. I didn't like the start. We had a lot of injuries, but it's cool. But no, I agree with you that because something had to happen. Yeah. But to your point, it's more so because he got caught.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about no righteousness, about, we can't, this is outrageous. And no, it's, you got caught.
Come to the fact, I heard that they're going to stop. They're not going to investigate other players. Because I think the outrage was like, okay, how about y'all dig into the other coaches' emails and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Because how many people got dick pics that they didn't send out to somebody that they don't want coming out?
Ha ha. Ha ha.
You know what I'm saying? How many affairs have gone on to somebody that nobody knows?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows what you got going.
Yeah.
You know, on behind closed doors.
Yep.
Well, what about that Deflategate stuff and Bountygate and Spygate and all the other gates and
I'm sure some emails attached to those.
Gates, you know what I'm saying? Kevin Gates. Like what about all the other gates they got?
See, and that's I'm with you. I'm with you.
So they're not. That's why they shut it down, because I can't remember the name of the owner of the Washington football team, but I guarantee you, because that's who they was investigating.
Okay.
And so now you get rid of somebody that played in another conference.
Yeah.
He ain't even in the NFC East. He in the AFC West.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As far as I know, I don't ever recall him ever being on staff with the Washington football team. As far as I know, he been
I'm not sure.
Oakland, Tampa, Oakland, Oakland, Tampa, Monday Night Football, and Oakland again.
Yeah.
The John Gruden quarterback camp and everything like that. But you know what I'm saying? And so again, and when you look at it, like, even when he did his quarterback camp, like, I didn't see him always, if it was a black quarterback, like, oh, well, he's an athlete. No, like, it was some of them, he was talking about how good their arm was and everything like that. And he had just as many of them on as he had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Nate Sudfelds and I can't think of the guy he got that played for Buffalo that he got as a backup for Oakland through all them interceptions.
I know you're talking about.
But yeah. But just as sure as he had as many of them on, he would have the equivalent of a Lamar Jackson or a Patrick Mahomes or a Trey Lance when he did his quarterback. So yeah, okay, you might think this way, but when I'm looking at your other stuff,
right? Yeah, like I said, I'm agreeing with you. Like I thought it was overreaction, but then I got it, because once certain stuff get exposed, it's like
And
what,
I'm not
what can
a
I
fan
do?
of racist.
Yeah,
y'all can kiss my ass. Y'all have heard me say this.
Yeah,
but I'm fair across the board though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because just as sure as I defend Dave Chappelle for his right to be able to say what he thinks and what he feels, I think that works both ways.
Facts. Let's leave it at that.
Man, let's talk about, I know this is a hot button topic for you.
Yeah, this is the NBA's 75th anniversary team, y'all. It recently came out as we're taping now. I think it came out officially. It ended a couple days ago. And we just kind of want to go through this list and really dissect it as much as we can, and maybe even add some names that we think, we would possibly want to put on there. So I want to start with, obviously, I think no debate, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whatever.
Well, I say this,
okay.
So because it will be long going through the whole list.
Yeah.
So the original 50.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with them not deleting anybody out from who made the 50 greatest?
I do.
You have a problem with them keeping the original 50 greatest on?
Yeah, all of them, because I think from that time, from 50, I think the game and stuff has evolved. And I think arguably you can, like, names like, let me see, somebody's in here like somebody like Walt Bellamy. You know what I'm saying? He was old with the Knicks, back in the day and stuff like that. He has more nostalgia, kind of attached to his name. But can you say somebody like a T-Mac or something like that couldn't maybe, be on there as opposed to him? But, like it's a different, like, because, Dominique wasn't even on the original 50.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now, but he added, he's on this 75 list, which I don't have a problem with Dominique. Or we can just get straight into it of who I actually do. Like, to me, the old heads, I don't know if you like Sam Jones. Sam Jones is on the 75. I think he was on the 50 as well. Now, I think Sam Jones was a great player on the Celtic teams. I think he got 8 titles and stuff. But going forward, like, you know what I'm saying? I think he has more attached to his name than just to say that he belongs in there above, somebody like who will name the party got left off here. I know a Derrick Rose or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was looking up your boy. This is why Walt Bellamy should be.
Walt Bellamy.
So, just for the fact that he averaged 32 points a game as a rookie.
Oh, okay.
He had one of the 3 greatest rookie seasons in NBA history, along with Wilt Chamberlain and Oscar Robertson.
Mm-hmm.
And so he averaged 32 points a game as a rookie and 19 rebounds a game as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And the only people who are above him, Wilt Chamberlain as a rookie averaged 27. Bill Russell averaged 19 and a half, or almost 20.
Okay.
So the 3 greatest rebounding seasons by a rookie was Wilt Chamberlain with 27, Bill Russell with just say 20 because it was 19.6, and Walt Bellamy with 19. The scoring seasons, I don't have Wilt's or Oscar's, but he was 32 points a game as a rookie.
Okay.
And for his career, he was a 20 and 14 rebound center. So when you consider that,
now he was in the 50. He's not even on the 75.
No, 60s. No, I'm saying he played in the 60s though. And so a lot of guys, the reason why they was like, you can't take off people who already made the 50. It's like, okay, if the NBA had stopped at 50, this is it.
Right.
So now these are the foundations. These are the building blocks of where we're at. And so now that we made it to 75, you don't smash the building down and rebuild it. We already got a foundation. And so who, in addition to the foundation, can we add, on top of that?
Because I don't think they don't have Walt Bellamy on this 75 list.
No, they didn't. No, he is. They if he was in the 50 greatest, they didn't take. And I don't know if he was in the 50 greatest, but if he was in the 50 greatest, they didn't take anybody out of the 50 greatest. So like Bob Cousy, Havlicek, all of them guys that made like Pistol Pete, Bill Walton. Because there's some people who had a problem with Bill Walton still being on there. But again, it's like,
yeah, they did.
And I can't remember who had said it, but they was like, man, talk to them centers that played back in the day, like before all his injuries and stuff. 2-time Finals MVP. One he got as a role player with Boston, but he ended up being the Finals MVP with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And defensively, he was just one of the greatest centers, of all time. And again, you got to think about it. He didn't play for a very long time because of his injuries, but when he was on his stuff,
his prime was elite. Now,
and Portland ain't never won nothing else
since
outside of him. So it's like
77. Now I do agree with you. I will move on that. Like as far as but certain players, like to me, like Reggie Miller is on the 75 list.
So who got added that you feel like should be off for somebody who got snubbed?
I don't think Dame Lillard should be on there. I don't think Reggie Miller should be on there. Now
that's tough.
I went back and forth because Ray Allen is on there.
Yeah,
Ray Allen is on there. Just even when I look at it, because if you look at Reggie Miller's career, he never made a first team.
Yeah,
I think he made a couple second team.
He only made 3 third teams. He never made a second team.
Okay, bet.
He made 3 third teams.
So given within that, to me, I think Klay Thompson deserves to be on there, given that he's a two-way player. He's been on a few, probably 2 or 3 All-NBA teams, 3-time champion, 3-point champion, arguably a better shooter than Reggie. Arguably, you can argue that. You know what I'm saying? So Dame and Reggie, you know what I'm saying? You got to put Russ in there. So I get that. You got to put Russ on there because of the triple-double stuff, what he meant to the history of it. I get that. So, but I would say my main issue would be with Dame and with Reggie. What you think? Who would you?
I agree with you on Dame. If you take Reggie off, I would say, because I feel like you can take Dame off, and it's much, I'm hard on D Howard. I'm hard on Dwight Howard. But I feel like when you look at, 8 All-Star appearances, 5-time All-First defensive team, like 4-time defensive player of the year or something like that. Like, come on, man. Like,
He was a mainstay on the first team All NBA for 5-6 years in a row. You know what I mean? Like, but to your point, what you were saying, I heard Kendrick Perkins talk on. He was talking about taking off Patrick Ewing and
smoking weed
and putting on Dwight Howard.
No, he's smoking.
You know what I'm saying? But to your point, he was on the 50 greatest. So, like you said, you should probably stick to that and add the next 25.
And again, Pat played in 2 finals like D. Howard did. He didn't win one.
Yeah.
But what team did he have that was as talented as offensively as Ewing's? Like who offensively was as good as Dwight Howard had when he had Rashard Lewis, who was a 20-something points a game scorer? Hedo Turkoglu, who was essentially between 14 and 19 points a game.
Yeah, skip to my little.
You had Rafer Alston, who was a double figure scorer primarily. You know what I'm saying? Jameer Nelson, who was a 20-point a game guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had Bass, Brandon Bass, who was good at the 4 spot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he had shooters.
Boy, Matt Bourne was on there.
Right. That's what what I'm saying is like who did Ewing have offensively?
Right.
Because when you look at, oh man, Xavier McDaniel was not an offensive guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, he had Derek Harper, not really known for his offense. Like all the guys you naming, like okay, he had Starks, but you know what I'm saying? Like, okay. But like all the rest of the guys you got, Xavier McDaniel, Charles Oakley, Derek Harper, all these guys are defensive guys. They got them because Pat Riley completely changed from Showtime to I'm gonna start a new identity in New York to fit the city I'm in.
What you think about Melo being on there?
I'm just glad Scottie Pippen is still on there.
Oh yeah,
no, I got that look. But now,
what you think about Melo, man?
It's tough, man, because we are prisoners of the moment sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, when you look at certain players, and again, hard on T-Mac, man, he's amazing. But like you look at a guy like Dominique, for example. Dominique played in some Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You look at a guy like T-Mac. When you played, you couldn't get past the first round.
Yeah.
The only time y'all make it to the Western Conference Finals, you're hurt.
Yeah.
And I want to say he was on the final team with the Spurs when he played like 3 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? So like you got to look at that like, yeah, man, he was a bucket, man. He was that dude. But part of the measure of who you are is if you're that guy, what do you do with your team? And as much as I be on LeBron, it is what it is. When he was that guy, took a bum Cleveland team to the finals.
Yeah.
And he had to beat Detroit.
Yeah. Almost pretty much by
himself. You know
what
I'm saying? By himself.
Yeah.
So now again, I mean, you know me, I'm not a LeBron stan, but I'm gonna keep it objective. So when you look at stuff like that, who has Melo beat?
Yeah.
You know, when you're that guy, and he's essentially, when he was in Denver, he was that guy. When he was in and he had some guys when he was in Denver.
Yeah. AI.
Yeah, AI. He had Chauncey. He had J.R. Smith when J.R. Smith was like J.R. Smith dunking Kenyon. From like almost a free throw line. Kenyon.
Yeah. Yeah, Camby. I think Camby was there.
Yeah, I mean, he had some guys.
I think he had Camby there too.
You know what I'm saying? When he went to New York, you know, him, Amari, but then him and Lynn couldn't get it. He couldn't play with Lynn Sanity.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you didn't get past the second round on your own. And I want to say, I think one time, he might have made it to the Western Conference Finals when he was with Denver. But
semis.
Something like that. But again, it's like, you know, like what did you like? You look at a guy like KG. KG was in the Western Conference Finals with Minnesota. Like, what has Minnesota ever won?
Yeah.
But he was carrying them even before he had Spreewell and Cassell. They had you couldn't name another dude, Joe Smith. Like that's who. And you just remember him for his bad contract.
And that's my thing. Like I like Melo as a player. I think he's one of the greatest. But I was like, as far as like I think he's a staple. Like to me, I think Dwight Howard maybe has an argument to jump Melo.
Yeah, I agree.
In that case, but
Dwight Howard ain't my guy, but I agree.
Yeah, because you know Dwight, like I said, he was dominant. Even I think he averaged a double his rookie year coming straight from high school.
No, he was one of them guys, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, so that's a third one for me. So I had Melo, Dame, and for me, Reggie, that I thought were, questionable, add-ons to be on there. Like Dirk is a no-brainer. He got to be on there.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? AI, of course.
Definitely.
You got Steph,
not even a question.
Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, even Paul Pierce. Pleasure P deserve to be on there for sure. To me, I think so. I think he has a more right than Melo. I think he has a bigger right than Melo.
Okay.
And everybody else, Dwayne Wade, I think he was a shoe in.
Definitely. I mean, from what he did in the finals that they beat Dallas in.
Yeah.
And then he won another 2 additional ones when they had the Heatles. Like, you got to do it.
And so,
who was does it have a notable snub on there? Do you see any?
Yeah, well, I can get to that. They had a couple notable snubs. Let me see. I know for one, for sure.
We talked about Vince and T-Mac, and I mean, like, I think we highlight driven off Vince. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when
they do name him as a snub,
get off of the highlights, like, what did you really do to justify that? Now he was prime time.
Yeah, must see.
You know what I'm saying? Best in-game dunker, period, and probably the best in the dunk competition.
Right.
Like, if we could have a time machine, I would love to see him, MJ, Dominique, Jason Richardson, Zach LaVine, and Aaron Gordon. That would be the best one ever.
That would be nice.
I'm calling it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, like, what did you really do? And then once he left Toronto, he essentially became a role player.
Mm-hmm.
Because New Jersey had made the finals twice before he got there. And they get him in, and you still got Kenyon Martin. Yeah. You still got Richard Jefferson. You still got Jay Kidd. They add you. Yeah. Y'all don't make it back to the finals. Now, I'm not like, that's not his fault per se. But I'm just saying, like, you're supposed to be what gets them over to the top.
And they got a couple people that they say snubbed, Ginobili or Tony Parker.
No, they don't deserve it.
Now,
because I wouldn't put them. Now, if you're going off championships, then you contribute on the championship team. But Ginobili, I don't think was on any All NBA teams.
Nah, I don't think he ever made one.
So
Parker made one or two.
No All Stars, maybe one for Ginobili.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like, so no, throw that out because there you're including his international career, which don't have anything to do with the NBA.
Right.
Parker, yeah, but I wouldn't put him over. Like, are you going to take off Steph to put Parker in?
No.
You know, you're going to take off AI to put Parker in?
Payton, no. Steve Nash.
You know what I'm saying? No. And it's like, because again, it's easy for you, and I'm not knocking his greatness because he's a Hall of Famer, legitly.
Right.
But it's easy when you're playing with Tim Duncan, and you start off with David Robinson. Also, you got other guys, other pieces. You got Greg Popovich coaching. Like, it's easy as opposed to an AI, like, because outside of Larry Brown, like, who did he play with?
Yeah.
Man, carried them there was a playoff team every year with somebody who's shorter than Tony Parker, way less than Tony Parker, took more hits than Tony Parker.
Mm-hmm. Now, with those two, and then another name that comes up, I mean, obviously, we already said something about Vince, clearly T-Mac, and I heard Shaq, which, I'd be like, Shaq, what are you talking about? He even mentioned Grant Hill. You know what I'm saying? Being on that. And I'm like, Grant, as great as he was his first, 5 or 6 years in the league, pretty much I put him in the same category like Penny. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Although Grant had a longer career and ended up having being a serviceable player.
Like Grant Hill.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? After his injuries and stuff like that. But, you can't put him nowhere kind of near
so
this
he's
list.
A snub.
That's what somebody said.
Oh, okay. Nah.
That was Shaq said, actually. Shaq was like, him, Kyrie, you know what I'm saying, has a legitimate shot. I was like, no. Kyrie.
I mean, you've seen what Kyrie does when you got to be the guy.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that. Like, but I thought, as to your point is, caught up in the moment by putting Dame on there. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Dame should have been on this 75 list.
I would say Dame deserves to be in the top 100 when that comes.
For sure. I agree with that. But as you said, when he got to the Western Conference Finals with no KD was hurt. Remember, they still swept Portland
because they don't want the list to be long as hell.
Yeah.
Because I don't know there have been 75 great centers in the NBA. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me,
Alonzo ain't on there. What you think about Alonzo? You think Alonzo had a shot to be on there ahead of Dwight? I
think
because Alonzo had like
he had
defensive players of the year. Alonzo,
he had an argument. I'm getting mad because
Dikembe ain't on there. He a snub. Dikembe.
Oh, I don't know, because like you got Rodman on there. I feel like you should have Dikembe. If you got Rodman on there, you should have Dikembe.
Yeah, so Lonzo.
So let's see. I'm looking up Lonzo's.
I got him right here.
So he was a 7-time All-Star.
All-NBA once.
All-NBA second team.
Once. 2-time defensive player.
So it's basically just say he's a 2-time All-NBA. One first, one second.
I get it.
2-time defensive player of the NBA year. 2-time first team. And I'm tripping because he never made the second or the third team all defense.
Right. Look like I only see 2.
Yeah, it's only 2. Yeah, so I mean, I get it. I get it.
But look at Dikembe's though. 8-time All-Star. He was an All-NBA second team once, third team twice, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time first team All Defenses, 3-time second team, 2-time rebound leader, 3-time block leader. So, yeah. I mean, I get that, but I think Dikembe had a legitimate shot to be on there too. Because that's why like players like Dame at this point, you know, because Dame ain't really even been like top 5 in MVP voting since he's in the league right now.
I mean, let's look at Dame Dollar.
Great clutch player though, clutch shooter too. Because Dame is
yeah, I would say
legit,
so.
Though.
He is a 6-time All-Star.
Yep.
Only made, so 1 first team, 4 second team, 1 third team. So 6 times on an All-NBA team.
Mm-hmm.
He was the Rookie of the Year, Rookie first team. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Yeah. Like, for me, Kyrie got a better resume than him when you just look at that right now. Because I think, because Kyrie recently last year got into the 50-40-90 club. You know what I'm saying? To where, 50% from the field, 40% from the 3, 90% from the free throw line. And he got a championship. And he at least a 6 or 7-time All-Star. He's been on probably not as many.
7-time All-Star.
7-time, okay.
But he don't have as many All-NBAs as Dame.
How many he got? 2?
He got 1 second team and 2 third team.
Okay.
So he only got 3 in comparison to Dame's 6.
Okay. It's comparable, but to me, I would
say, he got 1 more All-Star appearance, but Dame has actually made an All-NBA first team.
Yeah. Now, if you're asking me who would I want, I mean, give me Dame because
I agree. I concur.
Give me Dame.
Like I said, I don't, and I'm not even. And again, like it's not about. Like to me, my issue with Kyrie, and it's good to look at, but if I'm playing with Kyrie, like it's just a lot of dribbling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he's so talented, he can get his shot off a lot easier than what he does. And so if you're going to go ahead and attempt a bucket, go for it early in the shot clock instead of 12 seconds on the clock, and I know I'm not getting the ball back because you finna dribble it out. You know what I'm saying? And make somebody, you gotta have somebody on skates, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But for me, like you look at a guy like AI wasn't finna play with you. Nah, man, AI finna wop, and he going to the cup or he pulling up. Tim Hardaway, wop, going to the cup, pulling up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kyrie is more like, wop. All right, come back. All right, come back. Now I'm gonna shoot. And it's like, man, come on, dude. Like, now don't get me wrong. He's amazing. It's phenomenal. I'm telling you now, if I woke up tomorrow with that, like I'd be holding the press out. We'd be doing it on the President's Executive Podcast. I'd be taking my talents to the league.
Right.
But, like I don't feel like he deserves to be I don't feel like he deserves to be on that list.
And I'm with you on that. Like coming from the lens that you just said, as far as being having the straight top 50, having them stay on there, looking at it from that lens, I get it. Because you can literally take like someone like Robert Parrish off and put like Dikembe or Dwight or somebody on there. Right. If you know what I'm saying, if you were like, okay, let me open it up, and let's say the 50 are up for debate. Right. But if they're not, to your point, let's just add the 25.
Because I feel like if you do that, then when they do the 100, then you deserve the right to be taken off.
Right.
Because of somebody else. And you didn't do anything to get off.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you solidified your spot for what the rules were, for what it was, for what we had to do, for what we had to accomplish. I solidified my position.
Yeah.
And like they don't do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Walk on the Hollywood, start, whatever. When you're solidified, I can't jump into a rejuvenator, and come back out there and I don't like the argument. That's everybody's like, oh, they're more talented now. No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. Because again, how many guys like Larry Bird, like legit would leave the season and go work another job? Like y'all can't even play 70 games.
Right. It's a whole.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and medicine is not what it was then.
Right.
Like if you tear ACL in, like your career you're retiring. Yeah. Like now, like that's why it was so exceptional when Dominique came back or Bernard King came back. Because most dudes, it's over with. Like you're done. Yeah. What's the boy name that played in Above the Rim? A lot of people don't know that he got drafted by the Knicks.
Yeah. I know
tore his ACL in training camp. Yeah. That's how he got into acting.
Yeah.
That wasn't just a movie. He got drafted by the NBA. What's the Christian dude that played Ben Tankard?
Yeah.
Got drafted by Portland.
Yeah.
Tore his knee up. Was done.
Yeah.
Now, man, you tear your knee up, man, a year, you back in the game. Like Gilbert Arenas was averaging 30-some points a game. He had 3 surgeries in 14 months. Done. Because when they would do it, they were still cutting you open.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, I feel like if you take somebody from back then, you give them everything that they got now. Yeah. All the training methods, all the diet methods, all the weightlifting stuff. You don't think Jordan would be Jordan or better now?
Exactly. Right.
You don't think the glove would be the glove shot?
Yeah. See, those are even my points. And so, to me, I honestly, before we talked about it, I never even thought about that because I'm listening to, I think, Kendrick Perkins. He was like, well, but like you said, the 50 are the 50 because during that time when they brought out the 50, those were the standards. That was, the creme de la creme of that time. You know what I'm saying? And whoever got snubbed off, like Dominique, now he was added to this.
Right.
So now you got to add him, including with all the rest of the next 25 with KD and all these other people. Like you're not about to take Drexler off or nobody like that off. And so,
and when you look at Dominique's numbers and stuff, even with the people now, it still holds up.
Yeah. Yeah, Dominique was a more of an all around player than people give him credit for. Even all the highlights and dunks.
Wasn't so much of a defensive player, but he wasn't just a dunker.
Yeah.
Like his scoring and rebounding was elite. And it wasn't just he could actually shoot the ball.
And he was 6'8". Like if people look at his game, he had a good teardropper in the lane. He would turn around and do that little, little float, little teardrop, turn around teardrop. So but yeah, man. So I want to continue. I want to off this because I don't want this camera to go off, and I want my brother here to, go finish watching his Niners. You know what I'm saying?
Man, this is gonna break my heart.
Finish his game off.
Break my heart. So when I looked at the score,
what is it?
Man, last time I looked at the score, they had scored at halftime. It's freaking 13-12 Colts.
13-12. All I hope is that Matt Pittman, the wide receiver for the Colts, give me some fantasy points tonight. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I messed with Pittman though, Michael Pittman Jr. because he went to my favorite college football team, Oh, you know, I'm a Trojan man.
He went USC.
Trojans,
Okay, he went
baby.
USC. Okay.
He played for the Rubbers.
Okay.
So I'm all about, hey, you gotta go with it.
All righty, y'all. So until next time, continue with that executive mindset.
And most definitely keep it presidential.
Salute.
Arrivederci.